Hey, good kind of people, what is going on? Checking out an all new The RCWR show covering the latest in all things wrestling entertainment and beyond since 2011. Here we are covering NWA POWERRR. It was their by any means necessary event. Part 1 was last week, which we had talked about. So if you didn't check out part 1, go check it out if you want to get my thoughts. Tonight, we got part 2. We got the conclusion of the by any means necessary event. I saw there was a couple of comments that came out there from some folks who were really under the impression that this event we were supposed to be getting was just going to be one overall cool kick-ass show. They didn't know it was going to be in 2 parts. Now, to defend Billy Corgan and crew from a few weeks back, I actually do remember them saying that there was going to be a special 2-part edition of NWA Power. I actually do remember that. But what escapes my mind right now is whether or not Corgan had said it was going to be the by any means necessary event that was going to be a 2-parter. That's the only thing I can't really remember, but I do remember him vividly. I really do sincerely remember him saying there was going to be an upcoming 2-part NWA Power. So, but to the point, I do feel where some of you guys are coming from. Honestly, I hope that Corgan and crew decide that maybe at a later date they'll go on ahead. Hell, honestly, they could do it this same month going into the Thanksgiving holiday if they wanted to. But I hope they go ahead and just combine the 2 into 1. That way it really has that pay-per-view feel type of overall show execution to it. You feel where I'm coming from? But part 2 was definitely, I felt, a lot better than what we got on part 1. Some of the matches that we had here tonight on the card here for this week, we got about 1, 2, 3, 4 matches. And the event for part 2 tonight went about an hour and 10 minutes. So not too shabby, not too shabby. We'll dive into that in just a little bit. Want to give you guys a friendly reminder that this week, as far as our programming notes go, you got tonight. We'll be back with you guys Wednesday night, November 10th, soon as Dynamite goes off the air. We'll be talking key points from Dynamite, key points from NXT, little trinkets of news. And then, of course, we're going to be back over the weekend, Saturday night. What's that? November the 13th. We'll be back with you guys. We'll be covering the AEW Full Gear pay-per-view event soon as it goes off the air. We'll be streaming on the usual outlets. And then we put a nice, pretty bookend to the weekend as Sunday, November 14th at 8 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you guys mark that down on your calendars. We'll be coming on live. It's a special Sunday night edition of the RCWR show. We're not covering any pay-per-views or anything like that, but we are celebrating a milestone. In case you had missed it on the Monday show, we're going to be celebrating our 10th anniversary. Been podcasting since 2011, and Sunday, November 14th will mark our 10th anniversary. So if you're going to be around during that time, make sure you come on by and hang out, say hello, all that good stuff. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Looking forward to it. So, Power this week, again, part 2, by any means necessary. Enjoyed this card straight up. We got our first matchup, Tim Storm taking on Jaden Roller. That ended up being a no DQ match, as that's the match that Jaden Roller wanted. He challenged Tim Storm to that match, and Tim Storm accepted. Nice little opener for part 2. Good back and forth. That Jaden Roller is showing me a thing or two. I'm still definitely a newcomer to the guy, but I'm digging him. I'm actually digging him. It was a nice, good back and forth. He had a nice, good showing against the veteran in Tim Storm. I like the psychology that went into this matchup, because when it's a no DQ match, nothing says brains like taking advantage of a no DQ match and just delivering low blow after low blow after low blow to your opponent, hoping that eventually you'll get the victory that way. Because honestly, that's what Jaden Roller kept doing to our boy Tim Storm. Every chance he got, he was just going for a low blow. going for foreign objects, steel chairs, you name it. This was pretty damn good. Tim Storm ultimately coming back, though, as closing moments. I remember Jaden Roller was looking to do something with Tim Storm involving a steel chair. He already went to the body of Tim Storm with the steel chair, but he was trying to set something up, and Tim Storm managed to counter it, and that steel chair had instead went in between the groin and the thigh area of Jaden Roller, and Tim Storm was just pretty much on that behind afterwards. Tim Storm that is, he did connect with a DDT. He did grab Jaden Roller in a DDT and just pretty much, boom, head first went into the chair once it was nice and set up and everything. But Tim Storm getting the victory over Jaden Roller. Nice good out in between those two. Thought that was a pretty good opener. From there, we went into our second matchup for the night, which was the NWA Women's Championship 2 out of 3 falls match, as Kamille defended against the young, the vivacious, the sweet, the very cute Kenzie Page. Look, when I was offering by any means necessary pick'ems on our Call That Match edition a couple of weeks back, we actually had revisited this card twice, if I'm not mistaken. We did it once a couple of weeks out, and then we came on back, I want to say as early as, not last week, but the tail end of the week before we were at it. And on there, I had said, if you really want to add some excitement to this, you want to go on ahead and you want to have Kamille just out of nowhere pick up the first victory. I honestly felt it needed to go to the third fall. That was just me, just to really make this truly look pretty competitive and all that. That's the direction I was going for, but that's not how this match turned out. Kamille ended up getting the first fall. She got that bad boy via her trademark spear. I mean, she pretty much was just in that first fall. She really was having her way with Kenzie Page. Kenzie was showing a little bit of spirit. There was a little bit of fire and everything that was coming about with her. Second fall is really, though, where things got interesting, because second fall is where Kenzie Page really, as far as I was concerned, got on the offense. I remember there was a point where Kamille was just resting in one corner after she got the pinfall victory over Kenzie, and she was just chilling. And you've got Kenzie, who's way across on the other side, and you got the referee. He's pretty much just checking out both girls. But if you had a nice keen ear as you're listening, you would have heard the referee go over to Kenzie Page and give some audibles. And I'm trying to decipher some of what the referee has said, and I'm just saying to myself, okay, sounds like maybe the referee, about out of 100%, I think I heard probably about 70% right of what the ref was saying. But to me, I'm paraphrasing here, it sounded like the referee basically was saying, all right, she's going to come at you with a spear. You need to counter that. Stuff's going to go outside the ring. Light that ass up, basically. I'm paraphrasing again. Sure enough, though, that's exactly what happened. Once the referee gave his audibles to Kenzie, we then saw Kamille go right for her spear. Kenzie gets out the way. Kamille just, boom, shoulder and all that first into the steel corner. And she pretty much just collapses outside the ring as a result. Kenzie Page goes immediately outside the ring and is just on top of that ass for a good hot minute. It was looking good. I got to say, that was looking really good as far as Kenzie being on the offense there. There was definitely the excitement, the buzz in the air as Kenzie was getting in there, a couple of near falls, really letting you on to feel, okay, she's probably actually going to get this. Remember, there was a couple of times even where Kamille tried to look for her trademark spear, and Kenzie was able to counter those a couple of times. She was able to get out of the way a couple of times there, but at the end, Kamille connecting once again with a trademark spear, and pretty much That's all she wrote. Kamille retaining her NWA Women's Championship. The Burke. She retained the Burke. So Kamille, clean sweep. 2 wins. So we did not see a third fall. Look, you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. As wrestling fans, we're so accustomed to, okay, this person got one, another person got one. All right, now we're going to go ahead and go to the third fall, right? A lot of us are so accustomed to that. It's very seldom we see it so decisive where whoever the champion is, they are just going to get the freaking sweep. Probably the NXT, I don't know if they're going to continue to trend under 2.0, but I know down in NXT, we've seen a couple of times a wrestler get a sweep over the other one. We have seen that in those 2 to 3 fall matches. So, but to see NWA go this route, I liked it. I know some people will probably have a problem with it, but me personally, I didn't have a problem with it whatsoever. It's actually pretty good. I was all right with the finish. Let's see. Next up. Oh, and by the way, keep in mind, Hard Times 2 is coming up on December 4th, and Kamille is going to be defending that championship against the beautiful, the lovely, the talented Melina. So that right there, I'm really looking forward to Hard Times 2. I'm looking forward to all the matches that's going to be coming up. That's the one. I know the full card hasn't been revealed just yet, but of all the matches, that's the one I'm really eyeing and I'm eagerly anticipating there, because I expect that one to be a sleeper hit classic of a matchup. That's just me personally. Speaking of classic matchups, we'll talk about it later on in the night, but what a classic matchup that cage match was between JAx Dane and Crimson. I'm going to tease you guys with that for now. Next up. Oh, by the way, can I show some love to the color commentators? I got to continue to show some love. The animated Joe Galley, Velvet Sky, and Austin Idol, they continue to just, right from part 1 from last week, they just kept on rolling there with their chemistry. I was loving the little one-line zingers and everything. I love the fact that they, being Austin Idol and Velvet Sky, just continue to play off of each other. This love-hate love type of relationship, if you will. I kind of almost liked hearing a jealous Velvet Sky as Austin Idol is telling her, hey, I have, what's her name? He's like, I've got Kamille's number. Me and her are the best of friends. We're cool. We're cool like that. We're down with each other. And Velvet Sky's just, you wish. And Idol's like, why are you jealous? Why are you so jealous? I loved it. I just loved it. I can't help but wonder, though. If, and this is a big if, a day were to ever come when Bully Ray appears in the NWA. Oh, my God. Could you just imagine Bully Ray getting in the face there of Austin Idol? Let me holler at you for a minute. Why you always messing with my woman? I mean, can you just picture that? That would just be so, that'd be epic. What do you suppose the end result of that would be? You get that nice little, okay, so is maybe Tyrus gonna come to Austin Idol's aid there? Or just kind of something to think about, right? Just putting little plants in y'all's head right there. Just something to marinate on. Let's keep rocking and rolling. Next matchup, this was definitely one I was looking forward to ever since we saw the Vicious Attack go down several weeks back on Power, where Nick Aldis was put out of action by his former best friend, Tomvladimir. I'm talking about, of course, Nick Aldis teaming up with Trevor Murdoch to take on the team of Tomvladimir and Chris Adonis. You know what? Good transition that they did with this. I got to give NWA a lot of credit for this, because we saw the Kamille Kenzie Page matchup. And by the way, I just want to show a little bit more love to Kenzie Page. The young girl is coming along. I'm really quite pleased with her work. I got to say, I am sincerely really pleased with her. She's coming along very well. There was a couple of miscues. I think it was more so on Kenzie as it was to Kamille, because it seemed to me that Kamille was in the right places at the right time. And you had about maybe 2-3 areas there where Kenzie was a little off. I remember there was one spot in particular that comes to mind where something was going on in the corner. Kenzie was supposed to basically use her body and pretty much do a alley-oop over Kamille, and I don't know what the hell happened there, but some type of a miscue, or wasn't timed right. I don't know what it was, but putting those few little hiccups to the side, she held her own pretty damn good against Kamille. I gotta say, I was very, very impressed. I need to see more of the young girl in action. So NWA, let's make it happen. But nice transition that they did from the conclusion of this match going into that tag match I just had alluded to, because we had Tomvladimir, Chris Adonis come out, and they were celebrating Kamille's birthday as they had a nice little cake, green and red, and had a unicorn on top. It was kind of cool. It was a nice little cake design that they had and everything. And they were embarrassing the hell out of Cal Davis. They were trying to make Cal Davis, I guess, sing happy birthday. I felt so bad for Cal Davis. I actually just hit the fast forward because I'm like, it's like, why they got to pick up my man Cal Davis, yo? Come on, leave Cal Davis alone. So I actually hit fast forward by about 60 seconds, and then we see Nick Aldis, Trevor Murdoch come out. So I thought that was a nice transition that they did going into that matchup. Kamille sticking around at ringside there. She got involved a couple of times in this tag match between Nick Aldis, Trevor Murdoch against Tomvladimir and Chris Adonis, right down to the point referee actually ejected her. But Kamille, you know she's not going to go away quietly into the night. You know that ain't how she rolls. We did actually see homegirl pop up a few minutes later on, trying to do her best to put the screws to freaking Nick Aldis and everything. Referee kind of honestly seemed like referee was losing control of this. It's like, you've already ejected her. Okay, so what are you going to do now? How are you going to get control of this, yo? And we saw Kamille try to spear the hell out of Nick Aldis, but he managed to get away in time as Kamille unfortunately tackled the hell out of Chris Adonis, and then she tried to go for the spear again on Nick Aldis. I guess she felt second time's the charm, but the second go round, Nick Aldis was able to pretty much use her momentum and sent her crashing into her boo, Vladimir, and so they both went tumbling outside the ring, crashing to the canvas and all that. So I want to say Aldis at that point tagged in Trevor Murdoch, and Trevor Murdoch pretty much went up to the top rope, connected with the driving bulldog there, that trademark bulldog that he likes to do, and was able to get him and Nick Aldis the victory that way. Fun little tag matchup. I gotta say, nice fun little tag match. I don't feel it's over though between Nick Aldis and Tomvladimir. I still don't feel that it's over. I feel like this is just the beginning, especially considering commentators had said something I thought was very interesting. Now, if you had your TV on mute and maybe you didn't have the closed captioning on, then you definitely would have missed this. But the commentators mentioned the fact that right now, Nick Aldis had tried to submit a cease and desist on Tomvladimir and crew from using the name Strictly Business. However, at the time that they submitted all the documentation, apparently Vladimir and crew, they already put in the trademark for Strictly Business. So apparently the way things are standing right now, Adonis, Vladimir, Kamille, they're able to use the Strictly Business name for now, but knowing what Nick Aldis had did, you just can't help but wonder, okay, so how is that exactly gonna be playing out? So, you know, just the fact that that was mentioned, I just kind of feel this ain't done. these guys are not done with each other just yet. Things are still, because when you really take a step back and you think about it, we really did not have that definitive in this tag match. We did not have that definitive Nick Aldis, Vladimir. They're settling everything right here and now. Everything is coming to a head right here. Now, some of you guys may be saying, well, what about Nick Aldis eventually challenging for the 10 pounds of gold? He is owed a rematch. That was also brought up on part 2 of By Any Means Necessary by the commentators. And they reiterated the fact that as it stands for now, Nick Aldis, he's not interested in cashing in his rematch clause on Trevor Murdoch because he wants for Trevor Murdoch to enjoy his title reign. He does not want Trevor Murdoch to be concerned about him. He's just, right? So considering the fact that Aldis has his hands still tied right now with his former Strictly Business bandmates there, yeah, I would say definitely, at least as far as the remainder of 2021 goes, maybe going into second quarter of 2022, we ain't got to really, worry about Nick Aldis in the title picture for the time being there. So, yeah, but it just felt like it was a good tag match, but just the way everything had played about with this tag match, you just felt that, yeah, we still got some unresolved issues right here, which is fine. I want to see more because I really like what's going on here with Vladimir really stepping his game up. Adonis stepping his game up as well. It's hard to believe that Chris Adonis, it's really hard to believe that he's 38. I was expecting him to be older, like in his mid-40s by now. But he's only 38. And, I mean, that's just amazing. That's a testament to him. And just, number one, it's hard to believe that we were watching him way back when and that he was so young when we had first gotten introduced to him and everything. But then number two, it's a huge testament to just how well he's been able to stay on top of himself as far as being physically fit, nutrition and all that. He's aged extremely gracefully. Main event match. I love this, as I alluded to earlier, the cage match between JAx Dane and Crimson. Love this. I ate this match up. Good shit. Good fucking shit right here. You ain't gonna get no complaints out of me when it comes to this main event match. I thought this was a fantastic closer. JAx Dane having a good, strong performance in this. Truly living up to the one you just want to hate. Seriously, the one you love to hate. I love how we saw JAx Dane using a handful of powder. And then at one point, he opens up Crimson. Crimson is just bloody, just everywhere. Above his forehead, just bloody everywhere. And JAx Dane calls himself trying to help a brother out by getting some peroxide/rubbing alcohol, and he pretty much just drenches it. I mean, he just into Crimson's face, and it's all on the wounds and all that, and he pretty much just takes advantage of Crimson being blinded and finishes him off that way to win in this cage match. Love this. From the moment that these guys were just brawling, Crimson going from, what was it? He entered from the fans section as JAx Dane was up on the stage ramp waiting on Crimson to come out so he could just pounce on him, and just, it didn't even go down like that. So to have those first couple of minutes open up with our two guys brawling around the arena, ultimately getting inside the steel cage after several minutes, and then doing their thing inside the steel cage. Just everything, the way this steel cage match was structured, I got to say, and I got to take my hat off to both of those men. Very entertaining. Very entertaining. This was one of those cage matches where my expectations weren't even low on this match, because my expectations were never low. I didn't do anything. I just went into this just saying, okay, Crimson, JAx Dane, cage match, Nice built-in storyline. This should definitely be pretty damn good. Let's see what happens. And I gotta tell you, of everything, now that I'm just thinking about the entire By Any Means Necessary card, I definitely would have to put this match at number one. At number one, combining part one of By Any Means Necessary and part two tonight, I would have to put this match from the pay-per-view as number one. My number two would definitely be, just looking at the rest of it here, my number two would actually be the tag match between Nick Aldis, Trevor Murdoch, Tomvladimir, Chris Adonis. My number three would actually be, my number three, believe it or not, my number three would actually be, and you know what, let me look at the actual, let me get part one here. NWA By Any Means Necessary. Let me just look at the part one card here. But those two matches off the break, I'm giving those two. Looking at the rest, you know what? My number three would actually be, I'll give it to him. My number three would actually be the NWA Women's Championship 2 out of 3 falls match. Even though it was a clean sweep, I got to give it up to them because their chemistry was pretty damn good. If I were to put a number 4 in there, my number 4 would actually be, I'm looking here too. My number 4 would most likely be, you know what? That was actually a really good match. My number 4 would actually be Sion taking on Mims. That actually was a really good match. But yeah, overall, now that it's in the books, I probably would give this pay-per-view event, I would probably give this pay-per-view event overall a 7 out of 10. It can't go lower. Definitely can't go higher. I definitely would give it a 7 out of 10. So I definitely would recommend it. For those of you that haven't gotten a chance to check them out yet, I definitely would recommend you guys go out of your way and check it out when you all get a chance. But yeah, definitely get a thumbs up from me. See, other than that, as far as any NWA news that's gone down since last we were on the air with you, been kind of quiet actually. Nothing really too much has been going on. I've been keeping tabs for you guys, and everything is just relatively quiet right now. If you guys maybe want a interesting, fun read to go check out, I would recommend you check out a R-Truth interview where you didn't get the usual R-Truth that you get on TV every single week. And this is NWA related, so stay with me. But R-Truth had recently conducted an interview where he talked about his legacy. And as part of that interview, he also talked about being recognized as the first African-American NWA heavyweight champion. So, you know, you guys want to, you know, go find that out. Go find that out and check out some of the cool words that he had to say. Some really good stuff. But yeah, other than that, it's just been relatively quiet as far as NWA news goes. So, hey, sometimes no news is good news, actually, especially if you're not hearing anything bad, right? So, yeah. So other than that, I am going to say we are done on that note. How long we been on the air anyway? I mean, this felt like a really short show that we did here for you guys. Wow, 32 minutes in and we're pretty much already done. So I'll take it. I love it. We can go out on that note. For those of you that had saw NWA By Any Means Necessary, let me know what you had thought about the event. You know, did it pass for you? Did it meet your expectations? Did you notice anything that kind of made you frown a little bit? Was it yay, nay? You agree with a lot of the points I have brought up about the show overall? Sound off. I do check out all the comments that come my way. To the point, I want to show some love to, let's see if I can actually pull up this comment real quick. I want to show some love particularly to one person that commented Noah had this to say about By Any Means Necessary. He said, and I quote, "I kind of hated how By Any Means Necessary wasn't a pay-per-view with all the social media advertising they did." So that kind of follows up on what I was talking about earlier, as far as making it be one show instead of splitting it up the way that they did. But no reason to rehash that again. So yeah, just goes to show you, I do check out all the comments that come my way. So sound off. Get at me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Use the keywords The RCWR Show. You made it up to this point. Thank you so much for tuning in. Kindly, on your way out, if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that like button. When you do that, you really help put more eyeballs on the product. Really helps out as far as channel recommendations go, content recommendations go, and all that good stuff. And let's see what else we got here. Bear with me here. I see a comment that just kicked in just now, so I definitely want to try to read all the comments that comes in before we call it. Anthony has a question. He is saying, is it me or is it just the NWA women's title doesn't look real? I think it's just you. Anthony. I think the NWA women's title looks pretty badass. Honestly, all the titles, whoever they got designing those titles in the NWA, looks pretty badass. Honestly, it looks pretty badass. Looks weird. No disrespect to the woman holding it. No, I know exactly what you meant. No, it doesn't look weird to me whatsoever. I think the designs, again, whoever they got designing the titles is pretty cool. I think they've done a really good job designing them. And I kind of like the fact that whoever the women's champion is, like how they're able to insert a little image of themselves in the center plate and all that. I think that's pretty badass, how they got that set up. So, but nah. Yeah, I think it's just you on this one. Yeah, because that's honestly the first time I've ever seen somebody with a reaction to a particular title like that. So I don't know. I'll tell you what, maybe next go round I'll really look at the title and I'll let you know. If anything, I'm surprised that going back to, what was the pay-per-view? I want to say it was NWA POWERRR. And when we had the women's championship match for the title where Kamille was defending against legit Layla Hirsch, remember when Billy Corgan had came out and he had presented the Mildred Burke championship? And I remember saying, oh, wow, so I guess we're going back to the Burke. We're going back to that title? If so, okay, cool. And no, that wasn't the case at all. It was just something that was just brought out. But I would have thought personally it would have been badass if the Burke had been officially resurrected and that was the title that the women were going to be pushing going forward. So hopefully, maybe down the road, something like that will happen. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, so again, quick programming notes. Wednesday night, new RCWR show will cover Dynamite, Fallout, talk a little bit about NXT. We're not going to do a full review because by that time, everybody's going to have checked it out. So we'll just talk about key points. We'll also go over some wrestling news, little tidbits. I'll also give you details on how you'll be able to enter the contest that we're going to be doing for getting a copy of Jon Moxley's new book, where we'll officially now announce the winners on the Full Gear post show. So tune in for that show. That'll be great. And then again, Saturday, November 13th, we'll be doing the Full Gear pay-per-view post show. That'll be streaming on multiple outlets. Everything will wrap up Sunday, November 14th, as we'll be doing a special edition of our RCWR show. It's the 10th anniversary show, so make sure you tune in for that. It's going to be pretty fun. I promise you guys. Try to see who all we can get. I got a couple of people that's it's going to be crashing by. So it should be a nice, fun show. All right. Meantime, those of you that's waiting for the Monday night show, audio-wise, I'm actually getting ready to edit it right now, and I should have that be up within the next half hour or less. So look out wherever you get your podcasts, the feeds. It'll be available in a hot minute. And yeah, that's pretty much going to do it. Get at me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Use the keywords, the RCWR show. And until next go round, wishing all y'all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. I'll see you guys next go round.